Literally, the car just pulled up on them. Literally, they didn't have any signs. They didn't hear anything. The car just pulled up and then just started shooting outside the window. Yeah, that's what I heard. This is such a shock. 17 years old. She didn't deserve that. Her mum didn't deserve to watch her die.
17-year-old Tanisha Melbourne, the latest young person apparently in the wrong place at the wrong time. Last night, in this street in Tottenham, North London, she became the 5th person shot dead in the capital this year. 42 others have died of knife wounds.
You can feel it here. Put your hand here.
A local man showed me where his car had been hit by a bullet last year.
We took my car for forensic for almost a month. This door is in spray. You can look, the paint are different. Yeah, it was parked in the car park. And I think they were fighting. I don't know what happened. And boom.
And how does it make you feel, the fact that it's happening around here, that a girl died?
No, I haven't got anything to say because I don't even... That area is rough. That's the only thing I got. Even the police can't handle it.
Have you heard about or have you noticed the sudden increase in violence in London?
Yep, definitely.
Yes, I have. It's really sad.
So do you think there is an actual increase in knife and gun violence, or do you just think it's just social media and the news outlet reporting it a lot more?
I feel like it has increased, and I also feel like the social media, yes, has increased more with its portrayal of, gun crime and knife crime.
I don't know if it's like an increase. I think there's always been like these kind of incidents happening, but I don't think it always gets documented by the media. And obviously, since social media's increased throughout all the years, like recently as well, like everyone will be like Snapchatting and all that kind of stuff. I think you get more coverage, and now it's coming on to like actual media now as well.
I think the media is looking for something to focus on during this season. So I don't think it's anything dramatic. It's just a story that we're focusing on right now.
Well, in your own opinion, what do you think has caused this sudden increase in violence?
I think that the whole gang culture has been glorified to new levels. Like, you know what I'm saying? I think that's one of the things. I think the lack of role models and just not the best backgrounds.
The cause of gun violence and knife violence, what I've always thought, is a lack of community among people of colour in London. We don't focus on young people between the age of 13 to 16. We don't give them something to do. We don't focus on their mindset. It's almost like they're like a redundant part of the community. We don't give them something to occupy themselves. And because of that, they lack community, they lack like a tribal like spirit, so they look for gangs, and within that gang they feel like they belong, they feel like they're part of something special, and then it changes their mindset, and then it's a psychological thing, and then they end up in violent acts, stabbing and killing each other.
They see other people having with the things that they want, and it kind of causes them to go out and do whatever it takes to get money and stuff like that.
Do you think music such as drill or trap music in any way has contributed to the violence?
Absolutely not. It does not have anything to do with violence. I listen to all kinds of music. I listen to trap music in the morning, but I'm not going around stabbing anybody. I am, abiding by the law.
I think all that kind of music and all that stuff, that's culture. That's what people like doing. If anything, it might be something that's kind of keeping them away from that kind of lifestyle.
You can't be stupid enough to just listen to music and then get influenced just like that. You can't. You have to be sensible. It doesn't mean that because you watch films that are violent, you have to do the same thing.
How often are you in London?
Quite often actually, because I go there like every week, at least every week.
I was in London last night. I'm always in London.
And with the recent news, do you feel any less safe?
No, not for me. I don't feel personally less safe, because I feel like if I was in that type of environment, then of course it would affect me more.
I am less likely to go to London at the moment because obviously I wouldn't want to see someone get shot, because that's just going to put an image on my head for the rest of my life.
Where I go and where people I hang out with, they're not associated with things like that. So I feel like I don't really need to be scared, because if you're scared, then I can't lie to you, you can't do anything.
I trust that there are young people out there that know what they're doing. It's just that there's unfortunately a small percentage that are caught up in the wrong movements. So I trust my area and I trust my people.
To be honest, like I feel safe because I've been in the mix of that kind of environment. Like I've grown up in that kind of environment, so you could kind of say I'm streetwise in a way. But I could understand if somebody else was like, I don't feel safe like in certain areas. I can understand why. You know what I'm saying? Like there's certain places that I may even feel like I don't really want to be just walking around clueless, if you want to put it like that. So I do feel safe, but I can understand the dynamics of somebody that's not too versed in that kind of street culture, and then they feel afraid or whatever.
What age range do you think are commonly targeted in such violence?
I'd say between 15 to about 30 years old.
I'm going to say like from year 7, 12 years old to about 18 years old. That's when I feel like their mind is still, you can still modify their thought process. You can still modify the things that they're thinking about. So definitely from age 12 to 18, where that's like your adolescence is a very, very like, that's a shaky period of your life, and you can easily change their mindset to think about anything that you want. Those are the people that are easiest to target. And it's not even just for violence, it's for everything. Marketing, fashion, music, all of that sort of stuff. Those are the people that you want to target, 12 to 18 years old.
If you're associated with that kind of gang violence and things like that, if you live past 21, I think you're lucky.
What steps, in your opinion, do you think should be taken with the issue of violence?
So I think what we need to first and foremost understand is the psychology behind some of these young individuals that are committing these acts. And we need to also understand that part of it, and as well as understand the social aspects of it, and try and work to gather a method that can help them.
My opinion, I think a lot of people are not educated properly about what the issue is and why it's such a big problem.
I don't think there's nothing that no one can really do, to be honest, because at the end of the day, most of these kids that go into the gangs, they're coming from deprived backgrounds. This is what I'm saying. Like a lot of times when kids go into these gangs, they don't really have a family. They don't really have no role models. And as I said, in the media now, the gang being this like criminal is what's cool. And it's mainstream. It's not like it's just like, street culture. It's mainstream now, like, do you know what I mean? So, I mean, unless you're going to cut that out and make it look like, being a criminal is a bad thing, which everybody does know, but on the same flip side, it's cool.
I'd say if you gave the public sector more money, and stop bringing all these cuts and like stop putting all the money overseas and all that stuff into unnecessary stuff that we don't need, then we can like lead to fixing the issue. I'm not saying it'll happen straight away, but it could gradually make an effect and an impact, and then hopefully everyone could like get over this and like fix this issue that's going on.
What do you think the authorities and the politicians should do? Do you think they should increase resources to police and things like that?
We don't need more policemen. We don't need to make them feel criminalized or, marginalized or isolated. I think what we need to do is start going to them and asking them questions and asking them, what do you need? What can we do to occupy your time? What is it that you're missing? What do you want to read? What do you want, we need to start giving them a voice and remembering that young people do have a mindset, they do have opinions, and they're not shooting people for fun. Nobody ever does this because they're actually having a good time. It's because they're missing something and they would like to have a good time doing something else. So I feel like we need to start giving young people the benefit of the doubt. That's what we need to start doing.
Sometimes in the black community, we have this thing of we don't trust the police, we don't mess with the police, we don't snitch, we don't do this, we don't do that. So even if there's an increase in police, it may be a deterrent, but there's still going to be the criminal element, there's still going to be gangs, there's still going to be all of that.
You need to be able to have a relatability. It cannot be, I'm coming to you and I live in this nice mansion away, and then you're coming to the urban, you're trying to act as if you understand the life. No, you need to be able to come with an approach where you're honest and you say, I do not understand it, I've never grown up in this type of area, but I want to understand it from your perspective, And what do you think we can do to help you? Let's hear your voice.
What do you think the community as a whole should do in terms of helping and reducing violence?
Finding something for kids to do to be a distraction away from the like thug gang culture. You know, making programs where kids feel a part of a family or community, like, and it has to be a thing where they enjoy it, and yeah, they just gotta put these kids into a group where they're doing something positive, and it's a distraction away from the thug life. Like, do you know what I mean? That's the only way I can put it.
First of all, acknowledge that young people are a subculture. And then when you start to acknowledge that, then you'll start put lots of systems into place to say this, whatever this is, this building, this is this, that, this area, this whatever, this is for young people. And I think we need to stop criminalizing that whole generation.
Just staying together, like, you don't want to segregate each other from, like, oh, it was like this and this people like affecting it and this and that. Like, you should all just stick together. So, like, it's not just one race that's causing all this kind of like violence and all that stuff. I think if you all stick together, then you can overcome this. Because love, innit? Wow, real talk.